What's up, Brew Crew? Welcome back to my Brew City Garden. My name's Opie. Today is June 27th, and I just wanted to give you a quick tour through the garden just to show you how things are looking. We had a nice line of storms move through last night, ushering in the warmer weather, and I think that's really going to start to activate the garden. We're running into the 4th of July weekend. Luckily, I've got some time off. We're going to do a lot of work. We're going to bring the Brew Crew out here, do a lot of work in the garden, get everything right up to date, and I'm looking forward to that. I got a confession to make, however. I'm an addict. That's right. I'm a seed addict. You ever find yourself walking past the seed aisle at the local supermarket and you just can't help yourself? You gotta buy some seeds. It drives me crazy, and I do it every time. But look what I found. 20 cents. 20 cents a pack. Yes, please. So I loaded up. I probably got enough carrot seeds to last me the next maybe 6 years or so. They'll probably go bad before I get a chance to grow them all. But that's okay. I did order some seeds online too. Originally, I wanted to order some carrot seeds because I am going to replant carrots. No, it's not too late. And after seeing the results so far of the Chard experiment, I've got some new hope for my carrots, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But what I was really looking for is an alternative to cilantro. I love cilantro. I mean, I love cilantro. I could put this stuff on everything. I could put it on my breakfast cereal. No, not really. But the problem with cilantro is as soon as the weather gets warm, bam, look at that, seed heads. It goes straight to coriander. It changes the flavor of the cilantro, and it's just not the same flavor. It's not the flavor that early, fresh spring cilantro has. And once that changes, you know, it really kind of taints the flavor. It's just a little bit different. It's still okay. I mean, I could use this. But I'm really looking for something that can tolerate the heat, something that thrives in the heat. And I found something. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Go ahead and leave your guess down in the comments below as to what you think these seeds might be, or this plant might be. I'm going to show you. We're going to go through this, and it'll be the first time growing this for me. And I got to tell you, I'm excited. If this stuff works out the way that people say it does, man, this is going to be awesome. And I'm hoping to get this to go to seed so that I can have seed stock for the years to come and just keep propagating it over and over again. Hopefully it's as good as they say it is. We're gonna find out. Anyway, I wanna show you the garden, show you how everything's looking, and everything's coming along pretty good with the weather warming up. I think the next few weeks are gonna be great. All right, guys, let's go take a look at the garden. Okay, guys, so one of the first things I wanna show you today is my garlic patch. Now I have a patch of garlic just growing right along the side of the house, and the beautiful thing about garlic is really poor soil, it really doesn't matter, garlic will grow. You might not get the biggest heads, the biggest bulbs on them, but you know what, it doesn't really matter. If you grow a nice line of garlic, you'll have enough to last you through the whole year and enough to replant for the next season. But why I'm showing you my garlic, it's not ready. The bulbs are not ready, but this hardneck garlic is the one variety that will provide you with garlic scapes. And these are the scapes. Now what these are is the flower stalk, and they come up in this little curly Q form, and then eventually this flower will begin to open, and that's how the plant reseeds itself. Now what we're concerned about is the bulb growth itself. So what we want to do is come in here and just snip this scape off, and that's going to send energy back down to the bulb and provide a much fuller, larger bulb than you normally would have had if you would have left this on. Now the beautiful thing about this is you don't just clip these and toss them in the compost pile. These scapes are the gardener's spoil. You take this in and cook with this, and I make a garlic scape pesto, and it is amazing. The flavor on these scapes is something to behold. And that's why you don't find them, well, you don't find them in the grocery store because they don't keep. A lot of times you won't find them in the farmer's market because, again, they're just the gardener's spoil. These things are incredible. They are so good, and not too many people want to give them away, not unless they're a large operation. So I just wanted to show you that. So another thing I want to show you today are my ground cherries. And I keep coming back to these because I really think every gardener should at least try ground cherries. And I think you'll find that they are just so easy to grow. They're so productive, and the flavor of these things are so good, and kids just love them. That really, I think once you try them, you'll love them, and you'll want to grow them from here on out. They're looking really good. They're not very susceptible to bug damage. I've got a couple of very small holes here, but nothing really to speak of. Perhaps maybe a little bit of flea beetles. So, and it's about time to come along and spray with some neem oil anyway, and I'll hit the whole garden. So the fruits develop underneath, and if you can see these little husked berries, and what'll happen is these will grow to full size, they'll turn brown and papery, and then they'll fall off, and you pick them up, you harvest them off the ground. If you see, they've got these really pretty little yellow flowers with the little brown petal shapes inside. Just a really neat plant, really pretty, extremely productive. Really, if you're not growing these, you're missing out. I'd really encourage you to get some ground cherry seeds and give it a try for yourself next season. So if you recall in the last episode, I went over what a magnesium deficiency looks like and how to remedy that issue. Now you can see we still have some yellowing with the green veins, which is definitely a sign of magnesium deficiency. So what we did was we came along, added 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts to the base of each plant, just to give them a quick shot of that magnesium that they need. Now the affected leaves, they won't recover. They will stay that kind of a green mottled look, which is fine. What you're looking for is the new growth. What does the new growth look like? And we're starting to see the new growth is recovering. It's a deeper green color. It doesn't have that mottling with the green veins. So the magnesium is definitely working, doing what it's supposed to. With all the rain that came through, I may add a little bit more. Gardening with straw bales is a little bit different than in-ground gardening. So we can typically get away with adding more nutrients because they leach out of the bale much faster. If this was an in-ground garden, I would not add any more magnesium at this point because I wouldn't want the salts to build up in the soil and start causing other nutrient issues with pH problems. So here is where I replaced the pepper plant that had died in earlier videos. I'm not entirely sure what happened to it. It was more just probably just a transplant shock where all the leaves fell off and the poor thing just sat there and died. So what I did was I pulled that out, and there was a local nursery sale going on at the hardware store, believe it or not. It just some private nursery owner was selling her plants, and I ended up getting several plants, tomatoes and eggplant and peppers, almost a whole tray for $2. Now they're a little bit root bound, but that's an easy fix. So to get these transplants for $2 was just a great deal. I went ahead and replaced this dead bell pepper with habaneros. Now I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with habaneros. My thoughts are, because I'm certainly not gonna cook with it, the hottest I can go is maybe a little bit of crushed cayenne pepper. So habanero is just a little bit out of my league, and with the kids here, I don't see us cooking with it at all. But what I think I will do is make some sprays with it for the rabbits and other insects that may be a problem in the garden. So it's just more of an experimentation than anything, and I really just want to see how they grow. Otherwise, the rest of the pepper plants are actually looking really nice. Well, we did add the fertilizer and the magnesium last week, which is taking well. Got a lot of fresh early summer rain, and really these plants look really good for what it is. As I mentioned before, I got some eggplant transplants at the local nursery for really just pennies. We're not big eggplant eaters here, And this is my first time, believe it or not, growing eggplant ever. So if you guys get any tips, leave them in the comments below. I'm really not entirely sure what if any special needs eggplant has, but I assume just like anything fresh out of the garden versus getting from the grocery store, it's gonna be a lot better fresh out of the garden. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how these grow, how they do, and how they taste. So just a quick look at the bucket tomato system. These things are really looking good, very healthy, very nice shape and form. This upcoming weekend, holiday weekend, I'll come through and trim the suckers, and I will show you how I do that. I'm not one of these guys that is a constant sucker picker. I kind of let them start to form a little bit so that I can see what the shape is, and then I can determine whether or not I want that to become a new branch or if I just want to go ahead and prune it. But these bucket tomatoes are looking very good, just outstanding. So the squash is coming along nicely. Some plants a little bit better than others. This one is taking very well to the bale. These two are transplants that I transplanted from my seeding tray because the seeds that I planted in the bale did not come up. And these are taking very well. They've been in for maybe 3 or 4 days now, and are doing really well for being transplants. These squash are looking great too. We can see that magnesium deficiency in the leaves here. I did add Epsom salts to remedy that, and we should see some marked improvement. Cucumbers are looking really good, coming along nicely, a little bit on the light green side. These bales did get a fresh covering of all-purpose fertilizer, so we should see some improvement here as well. I would imagine these will start vining and climbing up the trellis within the next 2 weeks. All in all, they look really, really good too. So since I put up the chicken wire fence to keep little bunny foo-foo out of my beans, everything is looking really good here as well. These beans, once they get going, they will be off to the moon in no time. I imagine I will start training these up the trellis within the next week, and probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks, you'll really see these things just climbing probably all the way up to the top of this trellis. But I'll keep you updated. Otherwise, they look really good. No more critters munching on them. I like what I see here. These are the second-year bales. The only issue I have with second-year bales is they lay very low to the ground, which makes it easy for critters to get at. Otherwise, they are extremely fertile, work very well for growing. And but I think I'll stick to using second-year bales in the backyard garden, the in-ground garden, and in containers. So how about this backyard garden? This thing looks incredible. And if you don't recall, this is all previous year spent bales that I just made a in-ground garden with and amended the hard clay soil. Really, I just laid it over top. I did one, I turned the soil over once with a garden fork. I added some compost from the certified compost yard, and then I've just been adding my spent bales over the last 2 years. And the growth that I'm getting out of this garden is incredible. These tobacco plants are really to capacity. I mean, they're almost kind of crowding each other out, which I don't think will be a huge issue because there's so many nutrients in this soil. It's so fertile that I think these are just going to grow so well throughout the season. Just looking big and beautiful, dark green, and just as healthy as can be. The potatoes, you can't argue with that. I mean, we're 3.5 feet tall here in the center, and nice and thick, full, lush. I've got one little spot, a little bare spot, where the seed potatoes didn't come up. Maybe that was my mistake in planting them, or there's some other issue. However, I think I can find something to fill this spot. And if I don't, these potatoes, they'll grow right into that area, and you won't even see it here in the next couple weeks. So everything really looks very good. A little bit of flea beetle damage, and we're going to hit that with some neem oil, take care of that problem. But I don't think we'll see any lasting effects from that. Okay, so here are the results so far of the straw bale chard experiment. On this side, I top dressed with a compost or a soil of some sort, laid my seed, and then covered that again with more soil. On this side, I simply just pushed the seed into the bale, just as we did with the squash and the cucumbers. The results are quite conclusive at this point. Obviously, where I top dressed, my germination rate is far higher than over here where I just pushed the seeds into the soil. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work throughout the summer, if there's going to be a difference in plant growth. But so far with germination, there's no contest. This side certainly did far better than this side here. I can see there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 25, 30 seeds that germinated on this side of the bale. And on this side of the bale, it's probably more than I can count, and I can see some of them starting to pop through yet still. So obviously, this is the way I'm gonna go from now on. I will use the compost over the peat base because it does hold moisture far longer and already has that nutrient-rich base to it. So this is the way to go for my chard and any other small seeds. I will replant my carrots using this method this weekend, and I'm looking forward to a bountiful harvest come the end of summer. And of course, I will keep you updated on how this goes throughout the summer and into the fall. All right, Brew Crew, thanks again for joining me here in the Brew City Garden today. I hope you enjoyed the little walkthrough, and make sure you stay tuned because there's plenty more to come. And I'll reveal my secret seeds, my replacement for cilantro, or my alternative for cilantro, coming up in the videos ahead. Just to let you know, you can also find me on Facebook now at Brew City Gardener, so feel free to like that page. And once we get enough group members and some admins, we'll go ahead and start our own group as well. If you've got any questions or comments at all, or any suggestions, leave them down in that comment section. Hit that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend. All right, guys, it looks like it's about time to get out of here. So until next time, we'll see you.